Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. 13.7 million XRP. We got some ETHgate information for you. You're going to need to know it. Hinman snare trap possibly as well. We're also going to talk about Jeremy Hogan and U.S. regulations. And we're also going to hear from James K. Filan and the summary judgment timeline. Looks like SEC versus Ripple and more delays, ladies and gentlemen. And here we're going to also talk about XRP bullish signals on the charts. And one analyst is even saying a breakout for XRP in 48 hours. Somebody rolled a beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. $1.958 trillion market cap, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. It's April 21st, 2022. We're up 1.72 right now on the market. Bitcoin 42,600 plus, Ethereum 3,100 plus, and XRP at the number 6 spot is 75 cents, and it's up 5.76 on the 7-day right now. Take a look at this. We're ranging between 75 and 77, almost 78 cents on the range of XRP price. Take a look at this right quick. Overall, across all cryptocurrencies that the platform observed, investors around the world reached gains totaling $162.7 billion in 2021, which is an increase of precisely 400.61% from $32.5 billion in 2020. What do you think about how fast this space is growing, ladies and gentlemen? And speaking about how fast the crypto space is growing, how about all of the companies behind it? I'll tell you how fast it's going with the brick and mortars behind the technology. Right now, Ripple, Uphold, and Abra are sold out on link2.com. But if you want to get private equity, you can do it at link2.com. And they still have right now a small amount of BitPay, BlockFi, and Dapper Labs, and Link2 itself. So don't mess around. If you're accredited and you want to get private equity behind this amazing technology in this digital asset space, you can do it on Link2. Link underneath the video. Take a look at this real quick. 13.7 million XRP transferred from unknown wallet. I tell you, to FTX. Again, this has got to be ODL in my mind, because what do we know? U.S. retail investors are not controlling the price in my eyes. I'm speculating, of course, but I don't believe I'm out on a thin limb here because of the fact that U.S. retail and retail around the world, in fact, for that matter, is not controlling price, because we know we've been sidelined. God bless Uphold for letting us still buy XRP. But I tell you, it's very hard to get for U.S. retail citizens. And around the world, we know that the buying of XRP is not really at a level that is. Here's what I know. When we were not restricted and U.S. retail investors could get XRP wherever they wanted it on over 100 exchanges, XRP price was 20-some cents to 30 cents. Now, you tell me. I think ODL is controlling price right now. It's my speculation. Right here, we see what will crypto's future in Europe look like? Well, this is a concern in here, basically, from many different companies and projects in the digital asset space that are reaching out to the EU Parliament and asking them to really consider the privacy of the citizens, especially when it comes to digital wallets and things of that nature. We'll keep you up to date to what comes in on that front, but we know that there is a lot happening when it comes to crypto regulations in the EU. Right here is a reminder of just how damaging ETHgate has been. And this really tells the tale right here. It's digital asset investor. The GOAT is laying it down, ladies and gentlemen. Right here, he says, this is May 17th on 2018, 1 month before the Hinman free pass. According to Laura Shin, this guy, Thomas Greco, is the guy from the Ethereum shadow government that Vitalik was afraid to speak of. Here he talks about how they all agreed that Ethereum infrastructure wasn't even complete at the time. Take a quick listen.
So Ethereum Community Fund is basically, there were some projects last year which had done successful token sales to raise money for what they were building.
Let me skip
infrastructure
ahead.
Teams to build everything. There was a recognition that some of this we can do ourselves. And in fact, many of us want quite similar things, and they basically fall under like definition or label of a public infrastructure. So not only will it be useful for us to build, was their thinking, but also it will be useful for the entire Ethereum community and perhaps even the entire blockchain space beyond Ethereum. Okay, thank you. So I'm an advisor to many of the projects that comprise the founding membership of Ethereum community.
One second here.
And rather than wait for Ethereum Foundation or any of the existing infrastructure teams to build everything, there was a recognition that some of this we can do ourselves. And in fact, many of us want quite similar things, and they basically fall under like definition or label of a public which had done successful token sales to raise money for what they were building. And the consensus was that Ethereum is not quite ready for the consensus was that Ethereum is not quite ready for the types of additional infrastructures and applications that were intended to be built.
And there you have it. And sorry for the little skip around there. I thought I had it at the right time marker. I wrote down the wrong time marker for that. But you hear it right there. That's the guy admitting right there from the Ethereum shadow government, as Laura Shin says, admitting that it is not complete. The infrastructure is not built out, but yet that's not what was told to Charles Gasparino back when he was asking about the SEC and the free pass. And basically, this is what Charles Gasparino said at the time. He was told that it was secure, that Ripple is a company infrastructure that's still being built out. So XRP, the token, was used to finance the thing, is considered a security. Ethereum infrastructure is totally built out, he was told, and has been for years. Thus, it's clearly a commodity. Now, this is a problem, ladies and gentlemen, because it also brings into question exactly what John Deaton has raised here, which is the Ethics Compliance Office within the SEC telling William Hinman he couldn't even have dinner or meet with his law firm partners, for which he ignored all of that. Can you imagine the Ethics Office blessing the speech given by the head of corporate finance, William Hinman, at the time? ETH a free pass if they knew his firm was a member of the EEA, right, which is the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Each day gets closer to constituting criminal behavior. It really, really is true that it is getting closer and closer and very harder each day to say that this is just appears. This really is starting to reveal itself to be a truth at this point. And this is really, to this point, Brad Garlinghouse says that maximalism is harmful for the entire crypto industry, and I couldn't agree with him more. And I know a lot of people get confused by this because they feel like we're maxis to really scream that Ethereum got a free pass, when the truth is we want a level playing field for everyone. Give us the same advantage that you've given Ethereum, and then we can let innovation itself play out in an open and free market. How about that for an idea? Because we still have not seen that opportunity granted to the entire digital asset space. And that is truly the way the early days in the birth of the internet was. So quite interesting that we are still this early, that we haven't even seen a level playing field as of yet. And more to that point, Jeremy Hogan here says he consulted with a U.S. crypto project the other day. They said, we just want to be 100% in compliance with regulations and sleep at night knowing we won't be sued. He said, I had to tell them, sorry, that's impossible in the United States, maybe in another country, but not here. I hate it, but it's true. Then Jeffrey Miller comments here, time to go back to Dubai. Jeremy Hogan chimes in again and says, I spoke with a lawyer out of Dubai for an hour this week. The crypto license system there is amazing and it makes a lot of sense. No wonder that town is booming. How much longer can it go here in the U.S. before they take the boot off the back of the neck of this new emerging asset class? And speaking of taking the boot off the back of this emerging asset class, let's move now to the SEC versus Ripple, where one lawyer is saying we should be expecting more delays beyond wanting an early resolution to this case. We're talking about James K. Filan right here. Shout out to you, Jim. And really what he's trying to do is get us all to understand that there could be more delays and obstacles than we could ever imagine still in front of us as far as this case is concerned. He says, one, very quickly, I'll move through this summary judgment timeline. He says, I'm seeing a lot of discussion on timing projections for the filing of summary judgment motions here. He says, in a decision on the motions, I thought I would weigh in because Judge Torres has a particular and very complicated process that must be completed before the motions for summary judgment can even be filed. The point of this thread is to help you understand that it is a longer process than you may realize. He goes through a lot of the process and how they have to number the paragraphs and they have to use a certain word format and all of that. And I want to come down here and pick it up, and they have to include documents the court previously said the parties did not have to give the other side. For example, he gives like Brad and Chris personal financial information or the Estabrook notes. Nice example there. And then going down to here, he says, on the docket letter explaining why it is opposing the motion, after that, Judge Torres will review everything and inform the parties whether a motion for summary judgment is warranted, and if so, set a briefing schedule for the filing of the motion. He goes on to say here, only then can the motion be filed. Now, the parties are submitting a proposed schedule this Friday, and it's technically possible that the parties will agree to waive the requirements of pre-motion letters and the exchange of the Rule 56.1 statements of facts. He goes on to say, however, I have to think that Ripple, Brad, and Chris would want to waive these requirements and will be pushing very hard for a faster schedule. But with the SEC delaying this case at every turn, you really must wonder if the SEC would ever agree to the waiver and make this battle less cumbersome or faster for anyone, even for Judge Torres. Even if the parties agree to waive the requirements, Judge Torres has to agree to that waiver. On top of all of this, remember that expert discovery has been reopened until May 13th for the Mets deposition. He goes on to say here, in the filing of that Ripple defendant supplemental rebuttal report also, I expect that the parties will challenge some of the other parties' experts, although I expect that to be a part of the summary judgment process. He says here the amicus brief also have to be reviewed. The point is that all of this adds to the time it will take for Judge Torres to make a decision because those challenges have to be decided. All of this is very complicated and will be slower than we want. I don't want you to be disappointed when the briefing schedule comes out. I don't think we will see a schedule that contemplates briefing beginning in June. I think their more realistic timeline for summary judgment motions would be opening briefs either in July or August. He says here, and then all briefings completed by either October or November. Then the issue of the Hinman documents and the emails is still being decided, but I think the decision on that would be made while the summary judgment motions are pending, which is why he believes the Ripple defendants have said that they are prepared to go forward on summary judgment before that issue is decided. And for reference, Judge Torres recently issued a summary judgment ruling in a complicated case involving gender discrimination claims against Goldman Sachs. The briefing in that case was completed last year or last November, and the decision was issued in mid-March of this year. The point is this, is it is a complicated case, and it will continue to take time, more time than we want. Jim, I thank you for your insight and your perspectives on what's going on with this case, as well as everybody else that really chimes in here. I would be lost without it. That is for damn sure, and I certainly appreciate it. Nevertheless, it may not be the news that any of us really want to hear, but I'll tell you this, I'd rather know it than not know it. Take a look at this, because we're going to change and look at the market and price action and what's going on right now. And BTC Fuel here says Bitcoin dominance is in a bear flag right now. And if you've been in this space for a while, you know that that can point to a altcoin pump if that really breaks through to the lower side for Bitcoin. We will keep an eye on that as well. But then we have here CoinsKid, who tells us we may still be in a very bullish setup for XRP price. Take a look right here.
I think what you might have here, because it's a psychological level as well, around about $1. You can see the 1272 fib target. Let me move this up. This is a potential scenario for XRP that I'm looking at, okay? But obviously for this to play out, we have to hold this low right now because you retrace into this high. So to put an impulsive move, you come up like this, you retrace, you get through the fibs, and then you break out, okay, and you break that high. When you break that high, you're going to be in a minimal target to the 1272, which is around about $1, 10114, okay? Now that's a psychological level, okay, where I would expect people to sell off and short. And at that point, you start coming for a retracement, okay, and you get quite deep in the retracement. Everyone thinks, oh shit, it's going to a bear market. But I've spoken about this possible scenario playing out before when we was all the way down here, that what we're doing here could be quite a bullish thing for Bitcoin, XRP, sorry. This is a possible scenario because right here you could have this left shoulder. This is your left shoulder just there. This is your head right now. And this point of contact, wherever it is, you know, you could rally up to there. But that green line, like I said to you, putting a new local high on the 28th of April, which would be amazing. So you could break impulsively, you know, towards the end of April right here. It's breaking out. Everyone gets really bullish. You run into that resistance, and then you come back in May for a deep retracement of a right shoulder, you know, a big whopping correction, but you're still holding these lows, so it's still bullish. And at that point, you know, you hold the shoulder, the right shoulder, wherever it is, and then boom, you've got your right shoulder. And it looks like a bit of a skew with inverse head and shoulders, but in actual fact, what it actually is a beautiful ascending triangle wherever the support holds, okay? So for example, let's draw a trend line here. So let's say that's the support, and this is where we come down to on the right shoulder sometime in May. Yeah, this is a thought experiment. This is something I'm looking at as a possible scenario playing out. I've spoken about this before. You know, towards the mid-term, end of May, you put in your bottom of your right shoulder and essentially a large ascending triangle, and you can see what you've got here. If you start to zoom out on the monthly or the weekly, you've got a beautiful W double bottom pattern, which is a sign of strength, okay? Points of contact like that, and you're coiling up, like I said to you, price compression, and you're looking to break. That's a bullish scenario right there for XRP, because if you was to do that, okay, and you put in this sort of inverse head and shoulders and this ascending triangle and W double bottom pattern, a strong reversal pattern, if you was to do that, then your breakout target, once you do start to come up and close above $1, that psychological level of $1, you know, you would equally be breaking out that bull flag that I've shown you on the monthly, and equally you start to break out there and start to close above $1, then you're looking at a minimal target, you know, that technical target around about 185, which brings you back up to this local high that you put in last year, okay? And with that, you can really...
So we have a lot to pay attention to here as we move out of April and into May. And then we have to wonder also, will there be some fundamental news that helps contribute as a catalyst to the buyers and sellers on this chart, right? That's the thing I think we have to look. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, show me the chart and I'll show you the news. And some people are like, show me the fundamentals and we'll find out what's going to move the chart. You know, I happen to think, you know, these things work best when they work together. And that's what we're waiting for, I believe. I believe we're waiting for a combination of some fundamental news that begins to drive either buyers or sellers in a direction that will either validate or invalidate these charts that we look at. That's how I see it. But now, with that being said, I wouldn't chase off $1.85 if it wanted to find us sometime around the end of April or sometime in May. But this is EGRAG crypto right here, or EGRAG crypto, and they're saying with the setup that they're looking at on the 3-day chart here, that they see a possibility for a high conviction rate in the next 48 hours, that XRP will have a major breakout. And they say it could go as high as even $7 plus. Now, again, for myself, I will certainly pay attention to this. And when I see this stuff, I don't show it to you for hype. I show it to you because one of these guys is going to nail this at some point. And it becomes a window of opportunity to watch for. You know, I don't watch price every day, although I report on it every day. I personally, when I'm on my phone, I don't look up price every day. I look at it for the show to give everybody that we know every day where we're starting from, right? But now with this, looking at the obvious move that we're looking from CoinsKids, we get a little bit of a contradiction here, right? One is saying a possible big breakout within the next 48 hours, like here from EGRAG here, or we could be looking at a longer push into the end of April going into May for a possible break to push back up to where we were, almost a year ago at $1.85 or $1.90. So this is, I like showing this too, because then we get to pay attention and see like which chart played out. Was the 3-day, because it looks like a 3-day chart here, really meaningful in this particular information that we're getting right here? Or is it going to end up being more meaningful with the 1-day chart and how these things are shaping up as we move forward? Hopefully we can all kind of pull this information together for ourselves. We'll see. One thing I do love is I love how these guys give this information. They give the support and resistance. And as CoinsKid always does, and you didn't see it in this video, and you should watch all of his videos. But here, and why did I not like it? Because I should have. We know that if we stay above these lows right in this area here, in that 55-cent range, we're still bullish as far as that goes. So not financial advice from me or anyone else, but that's what's sitting in front of us right now on the charts. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Check out all the links underneath the video, the products and services I use each and every day, and they are trusted, vetted links. I'll catch all of you